Hi, Gemini Risings. I'm Lisa from Trails Edge Astrology, and I am here today with your astrology and tarot horoscopes for this beautiful new moon in Cancer. So, the new moon is happening in the evening on Friday, depending on when you're listening to this, but this energy will permeate through the month. So, Jinx is going to join us. Every time I start talking, he comes to say hi. So, this is Jinx. Nice to see you, Jinx. Anyway, the full moon or the new moon in Cancer is always about big feelings. It's sensitive and imaginative and dreamy, and seeks security in certain ways. And for you, Gemini, your Cancer Capricorn axis is axis of resources, values, and this new moon in particular is coming to you in your second house about resources, values, sense of self-worth, could be related to money. So, so any of those kinds of things could be stirred up and are ripe for invitation to work with them this month. So this new moon is also being shaped by the Mercury-Pluto opposition, and then we're going to have a Venus-Pluto opposition, and then a Sun-Pluto opposition. So it's being shaped by all of that energy. I did a 1 minute astrology on that a few weeks ago, not a few weeks ago, a few days ago on Wednesday, I think. And so if you want to learn more about that Pluto, Mercury, those oppositions, head on over there and you can see that. But in short, the Pluto right now is in your ninth house, and so it's about values and beliefs and transitioning those kinds of like abstract thoughts, and how you work with that. And with Mercury opposite, that might give you an opportunity to really look at both, look at what is truth, what is wisdom, where are the facts important, and where are beliefs more important. So, so this whole new moon around money and self-worth and values, also tying into that idea of beliefs and communication and higher learning, higher mind, all that jazz. I'm going to pause because Jinx needs to get down. All right, I'm back. We'll see how long this works. So another factor on this new moon is that we have a Mars-Saturn sextile happening in the same time frame. And Mars is our ability to enact our will in the world, and Saturn is it gives us some structure and foundations in which to build it. Mars goes fast, Saturn slows down, but together they're having a really nice conversation that hopefully will give us some structure and some ability to get some traction on some of the things coming up for us in this emotional space of this new moon. And we can't ignore the fact that during this lunar cycle we will have a Mars-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, and it perfects on July 15th. So it's not there yet, but they're co-present in Taurus, and we may be feeling it. Mars moves fast, Uranus moves faster. Mars in Taurus is often called the bull in the china shop, and I feel like Uranus could be the cattle prod. So, in other words, like through the middle of July, we certainly should expect the unexpected in the Taurus part of our chart. And for you, that's in the 12th house. And the 12th house is about spirituality and hidden truths, profound healing. And it's called the house of undoing. So it can be a place where we look for escapist kind of tendencies. So I would watch for that during this Mars-Uranus conjunction. But I think it also is a place where we can unwind the some of those strict, rigid structures that we hold on to, and that that might benefit from some breathing room. There's been a lot happening in the Taurus house this year, so this is not your first experience with whatever is going on for you in that space, but certainly it is worth note. That we will have another kind of initiation. So we had an initiation with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, and the eclipses this spring. That was in in April. And so we had, coming into the spring, we had some kind of initiation to what this story was, what the next chapter is. And 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 so this is another building block on that. The 12th house is not known as a speedy place. It's a very much an internal space. Taurus is not a speedy sign. So even though Mars and Uranus are there prodding us along, um, I don't know that it's going to be like huge and external for you. It might be kind of an epiphany or an aha moment or a chance to, as I say, unwind some structures. So I think that's, that's the astrology piece of what I see happening. You know, it, it's a month to, I think we'll feel deeply. It's a good time to be introspective, find your safe place, venture out when it feels comfortable, and expect some unexpected things that I think will be good at the end of the day. All right, so let's look at the tarot cards. We are using the Mind's Eye Tarot, which is my new, I just got this deck maybe a month or so ago, and I adore it. I think it's beautiful. So that's what we're using today. And I am doing a new moon spread that I don't think I've done on this channel before, but I do in my personal practice. So I thought I'd share it with you, and I hope you like it. All right. In the new moon spread, the first card is Where Am I Now? And you didn't get the Hierophant. That's your second card. Jinx helped me by taking down cards. You got the Emperor as the Where Am I Now? So the Emperor is about structures and the guards. It feels very Saturnian to me. It's like this is the way we do things. Doesn't mean it's good or bad. It's just this is the way we do things. It's stayed and true and time proven and yeah, and not very flexible or movable. So I wonder if where you are now is kind of in this like holding pattern or like I'm here, I'm holding on to what I know or what I do or the way it should be, any of that kind of stuff. So something about that rigidity, perhaps, um, is the place you are now and where you're starting from in this moon cycle. Second card is what's blocking your growth. And that's where we got the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is another card that is not known for flexibility always. So the Hierophant is often thought of as the spiritual teacher and sometimes as like a priest or a dogmatic kind of figure. And so I wonder if there's not some like internal narrative, um, some story you tell yourself that is keeping you rigid and stayed. And as a Gemini rising, you're probably used to juggling a lot of kinds of information. So this is an interesting paradigm. Like, is there something that you're hanging on to that could be released that would let you um, move forward into whatever this vision is? I'm also intrigued that being that the Mars Uranus conjunction and the Jupiter Uranus conjunction were both in your 12th house, which is a very spiritual place, we have got the Hierophant. So is there some spirituality that you are either maybe holding on to that doesn't serve you anymore or afraid to step into in all of this? Is there something like that? Is that blocking your growth? Some kind of something related to that kind of structure or or rigidity again that is not letting you really embrace everything that this time could be bringing in for you. Your third card is what intentions will help you move forward, and you got the Page of Pentacles. This is one of my favorite cards. I love the Page of Pentacles because pages are about learning and about information and about kind of like a growth mindset kind of thing. And pentacles are about really practical stuff, very Tauresian kinds of things, like learning about things in the world. And so setting some intentions for maybe some practical steps to learn about the things you need to learn about, or gather information about the things you need to gather information about. Or maybe because pages are associated with youth, maybe there's something that you know I wouldn't, the Hierophant and the Emperor are not young people. They're people who are like, this is the way we do it. And so I wonder if in your intentions, if you can invite in something that that is more open-minded, or more of that beginner's mind kind of thing, which as a Gemini rising, um, uh, you probably comes fairly naturally to you, but there's something holding you, that's been holding you back, something you're hanging on to, and this is an invitation to, like, you know and I wonder if with this Page of Pentacles, maybe it's not, um, maybe it's not necessarily an idea, but it's like doing something Martian, Mars and Taurus-ish, in order to unlock some piece of yourself. So maybe more walks in nature, maybe a gardening project, maybe maybe going to the farmer's market and cooking for yourself. Maybe there's some magic in that, or some learning in that can be opened for you. All right. So, what knowledge do you require? And you got the Sun. So, I think the knowledge that you require during this time is that the world is opened, that there is abundance, that you can have whatever it is you're dreaming about having, even if it doesn't seem practical, even if you don't know how. But the knowledge you need is that there is abundance. There is energy behind it. I was just what was I reading? Oh, I just finished a book called The Alchemist. That it's a kind of an allegory of trust and surrender and all that kind of stuff. And and one of the big themes throughout it was that, if you're moving towards your life purpose, the universe conspires to help you get there by either throwing up roadblocks or throwing up opportunities. And so the knowledge, like the Sun, what this is saying to me um, is that there are opportunities. It might not be obvious. You might have to get through some hard spots first, but there are opportunities, and you need to know that you can get to wherever that is you want to go. Whatever spiritual depth, whatever healing, whatever kinds of things, 12th house kinds of things you're doing right now, you can get there. And then interestingly, in the what positive energy will come from this, you got the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords is not normally what we would think of as a positive card. It's almost always depicted with three swords stabbing through a heart. It's about heartbreak. It's about that emotional loss. And but I think in this case, what it's telling you is that, if you can release some of this rigidity, release some of this, like the blocks to wherever you're moving to, and kind of get into the growth mindset and recognize the abundance, that there might be something you lose, but there is more that you gain, that you might that, like, as the old structures get torn down, it does mess with our nervous systems when we change things, or when we step into a new place, particularly if this is a spiritual journey, or if this is like a step into something that maybe not everybody in your circles is going to think is a great idea, or even understand, that there might be some loss in that. But in the loss, you can recognize the gain, right? You lose something, but the positive aspect is, by losing that thing, by untangling that, by going through whatever that heartache is, you step out on the other side into something more magical and more beautiful and more authentically who you are. So, finally, I drew an oracle card from this Season of the Witch deck. This is the Litha version. So there are these decks for all of the solstices and equinoxes, um, solstices, equinoxes, and cross quarter days, and I love them. And we just had Litha, which is the summer solstice, on June 20th, and I practice, I keep embodying this energy through the new moon um, around that. So that's why we're using this deck. So from this deck, you got stargazing. And it says, it takes a lot of courage to reach for the stars, to expand the self, but it is possible. Let me read that again. It takes a lot of courage to reach for the stars and to expand the self, but it is possible. And from the guidebook, it says, ask yourself if what you want is truly impossible. Will it be difficult? Probably. Will it require growth, adaptation, having courage to take the risk? Yes, of course. But impossible? No, my dear, it's not. Something is only impossible until someone believes enough to make it a reality. You cannot reach your goals. You cannot reach your goals being who you are now. And while there is nothing wrong with who you are today, if you were the kind of person who could accomplish your goals, you'd have them already. Have the audacity to imagine your best self and then become that. So I love that. So that I think speaks to this spread, speaks to where this energy is hitting for you. Like there's something brewing out there, and I hope this gives you the invitation to take a risk or tear down some structures or realign some things so that you can step into whatever magic it is that you are meant to be bringing in. All right, my friends, I hope this was helpful. Take what works, leave the rest, of course. And if you're still here, would you please like, subscribe, share, anything to help me get this channel to grow? I would appreciate it. Thanks so much. Bye.